Hello, my dear students. Welcome you all to Sri Jayendra Rank Zone classes. I am your mentor and your friend for the subject biology, and I will be taking the zoology part, that is animal science. My dear students, in the last lecture we discussed about the anatomy of eye, the eyeball. We discussed about the different coats, the outer coat, fibrous, tunica fibrous, then middle coat, tunica vascular, the inner coat, that is retina. So we discuss about the sclera, choroid, retina. We discuss about the retinal layers. Okay. We discuss about the bipolar neurons. We discuss about the iris, the iridial muscles. We discuss about that the color of the eye basically depends upon the pigment cells which are present in the iridial muscles. Okay. We discuss about that the iridial muscles are of two types, circular and radial. Okay. We discussed about that how sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system controls the contraction and contraction of these circular and radial muscles, which further basically controls the light entering through the pupil. At last, we discuss about the difference between aqueous humor and vitreous humor, and now we are going to discuss about some more differences as I have told you. Okay, and then the working of eye, that how vision is basically pursued, how vision human vision is pursued. Okay, so starting with a common difference of rod cells and cone cells, some common differences. Okay, so first, rods and cone cells. Rods, cones. Rod cells, they are sensitive to dim light. They are having a pigment known as what? Visual purple, rhodopsin. Cone cells, they are sensitive to bright light. Okay. Rod cells, they contain rhodopsin. Plus vitamin A. Okay. Retinal from vitamin A means they contain rhodopsin pigment formed from vitamin A. Okay. So I will write here formed from vitamin A. And cone cells, they contain iodopsin. Rod cells, they don't help in color differentiation. No help in color differentiation. But cone cells, they help in color differentiation. They help in color differentiation. Okay. Now the pigments like rhodopsin and iodopsin. The rhodopsin, which is known as what? Visual purple, and iodopsin. Okay, visual violet. This is difference number one. Change the ink. This is difference number two. Okay, iodopsin of visual violet and rhodopsin visual purple. So rhodopsin is present in rod cells as we have already discussed. It is sensitive to dim light and gives twilight vision. Very important. and gives twilight vision. Okay. Rhodopsin of visual purple, it does not give color vision. Does not give color vision. Does not give color vision. Okay. Then the rhodopsin is insufficient, mean it results in night blindness. If it is insufficient, then it results in night blindness. So deficiency results in night blindness. Results in night blindness, which is due to vitamin A deficiency. Okay, vitamin A deficiency. Iodopsin of visual violet found in cone cells, sensitive to bright light and gives daylight vision. And sensitive to bright light. Okay, it gives color vision. Then, if it is insufficient, it results in color blindness. Leads to color blindness. Understood? So this is the difference between rhodopsin, iodopsin, rod cells and cone cells. Now we are going to discuss about the various muscles, eye muscles and their nerve supply. Okay? External muscles of eye and their nerve supply. Okay? So there are 6 extrinsic muscles. There are around 6 extrinsic muscles, okay, which are attached to the eyeball, which are attached to eyeball. Out of these 6 muscles, 4 muscles are straight and 2 are oblique. So out of these 4 muscles, out of these 6 muscles, 4 are straight and 2 are oblique. Okay? The straight muscles are rectus, median rectus, lateral, superior and inferior. Rectus muscles. Okay, median rectus, lateral rectus, superior rectus, inferior rectus. Okay, and the muscles which are oblique are superior oblique and inferior oblique. Superior oblique and inferior oblique. Okay, These muscles, they help in the movement of eyeball. The third cranial nerve, oculomotor, innervates or supplies to the median rectus, superior rectus, inferior rectus, superior rectus, inferior rectus, and inferior oblique. Okay. The third cranial nerve, that is oculomotor, it supplies all these muscles, median rectus, superior rectus, inferior rectus, and inferior oblique. Okay. While the fourth cranial nerve, that is trochlear, it supplies the superior oblique. Okay. The sixth cranial nerve, abducens, supplies the lateral rectus. Okay. So the third cranial nerve supplies the median rectus, superior rectus, and inferior oblique. The fourth cranial nerve supplies the superior oblique, and the sixth cranial nerve, abducens, it supplies the lateral rectus muscle. Understood? Now, now we are going to study about some small terminologies like blind spot or optic disc. Okay, means the difference between blind spot, optic disc, and yellow spot macula lutea. So we are going to differentiate between blind different. I'll give the heading with the red pen. Difference between blind spot and yellow spot. Okay. First point in blind spot. This is blind spot and this is yellow spot. Okay. Now the first point says that blind spot, it basically lies away, a bit away from the yellow spot, while the yellow spot, it lies exactly opposite the center of the cornea. Or it lies away from yellow spot. It lies just opposite exactly opposite to the center of. Okay. It contains no pigment. It has a yellow pigment. So blind spot, it basically, it contains no pigment. It is not having any pigment. Okay. While the yellow spot, it is basically having a yellowish pigment. Okay. Then blind spot is the level at which the optic nerve fibers they arise. Okay. So it is a level at which the optic nerve fibers arise. Yellow spot, it is having a shallow depression of the retina in the middle. Okay. So it basically is having a shallow depression, okay, in the middle known as fovea centralis. Known as fovea centralis. So it is having yellow spot, it is having a shallow depression of the retina, okay, in the middle known as fovea centralis. This depression, which is in the middle of the macula lutea, macula lutea. Okay. Fourth point, blind spot lacks visual receptors and is insensitive to light. It is having visual receptors and sensitive to light. Eye coats are absent at the level of blind spot. Eye coats are present. Okay. Now we are going to discuss about the working of eye, that how vision is formed. Okay. The working of eye. First, the working of eye or the mechanism of vision basically is it includes mechanism of light perception. Mechanism of light perception. Okay. Human eye is having two functional parts. Dioptric or focusing part and receptor part. First is dioptric or focusing part. Okay. And the second is receptor part. Is it clear? So what is the role of focusing part? The focusing part consists of conjunctiva, cornea, aqueous humor, lens and vitreous humor. Vitreous humor. Okay. These parts are transparent. Are transparent. These parts are transparent. Okay. And act as lenses. These parts are transparent and act as lenses. Okay. They refract the light rays. They refract the light rays. They reflect the light rays passing through the eye. They reflect the light rays passing through the eye to bring them to a focus. Bring them to a focus on the retina. On the retina. Okay. Maximum refraction is caused by the cornea. Maximum refraction is caused by cornea. Okay. Because of the refraction, the image approximately lies on the retina. Okay. The image is approximated on the retina. The lens effects fine adjustment and brings the image into a sharp focus. So maximum refraction is caused by cornea, which imprints the image on the retina, but the image is blurred till now. So lens basically operates the fine adjustment and sharpen the image. Okay. So this is the function of all these parts. First is the focusing part. Okay. Then comes the receptor part. To part B, just wait a minute. Receptor part. Sorry for the disturbance. Part B is the receptor part. Okay. The receptor part consists of retina, the image found on retina is inverted. So the inverted and small. So it converts the energy of the specific wavelengths of light into action potential in the nerve fibers. So this receptor part of the retina, it converts the energy. It converts the energy of specific wavelengths of light. E is equal to hc by lambda into action potential. Okay, into action potential. Now, pathway of sensory impulses from eye to brain. What are the different pathways of sensory impulses from eye to brain? From eye to brain. The nerve impulses generated in the retina impulse generated in the retina of the eye is in response to light is in response to light. Okay, so because of the response towards light, the nerve impulses which are generated in the retina, okay, they follow a very significant path and terminates in the visual cortex. Follows a definitive path and terminates in visual cortex. Terminates in visual cortex. In each optic lobe. In each optic lobe. Okay. Which act as a primary visual center. This visual cortex in optic lobe is basically the part of optical lobe, part of optical or occipital lobe, sorry, of cerebral hemisphere. Okay. So this visual center, which is present in the visual cortex of optic lobe, which is the part of occipital lobe of cerebral hemisphere, helps to erect the image, okay, and analyze the impulse. Now, very important, as we have studied that the light rays they pass through cornea, aqueous humor, lens, vitreous humor, and then focus on the retina, which generates the action potentials in rod cells and cone cells. Okay, human eye has a remarkable power of accommodation. So this is very important term, power of accommodation. Okay, with the help of this power, the human eyes can change the convexity of the lens. Okay, change in the convexity of lens. With the help of muscles of iris, radial muscles or iris muscles, the size of the pupil can be increased and decreased. And we have already discussed. Okay. During bright light, the pupil gets constricted. Dim light, pupil gets dilated. Pupil gets constricted. Now, the one who enters or who step out from a cinema hall or a amphitheater, okay, so inside the amphitheater or that closed area, it is having very minimal lights. But the moment anyone comes out from this auditorium or like this space, then large amount of light rays they will try to enter the pupil. So this time the pupil it gets constricted because previously when the person was in the dark adaptation, dark region, dark area, okay, the pupil was dilated. So here the need of the pupil is to constrict to avoid unnecessary accident of the light rays on the retina. Okay, in dim light it gets dilated, just vice versa. In dim light it gets dilated. Okay, these muscles, due to the action of these muscles, the ciliary body and the suspensory ligament. And suspensory ligament. The ciliary body and the suspensory ligament. Okay. The focal length of the lens can be changed. Of the lens can be changed. Focal length of the lens can be changed. Okay. The objects they can be focused in different intensity of light form of or at different distances, varying distances. Okay, with the help of this change in focal length. Okay, eyes they contain photosensitive compounds. Okay, in the human eye. okay, like which are composed of opsin, which is a protein, and retinal, which is a aldehyde of vitamin A. Okay, so light helps to dissociate retinal from the photoreceptor cells. Mean the light basically it dissociates the retinal. It helps in the initiation of the dissociation of retinal from opsin, which changes the structure of opsin. Okay, so light dissociate the retinal from opsin. Okay, like this is opsin protein and the retinal. Suppose this is retinal. This is retinal. Okay, so the moment because of the light, this part comes out. It gets dissociated. So the dissociation changes the configuration of opsin N. Okay, activates the process. So this change basically generates a potential difference, okay, which is generated in the photoreceptor cells, which causes the ganglionic cells to cover up the action potential, okay, and then the field is taken over by bipolar neurons, and the impulse is transferred to the nerves, okay, and ultimately reaches to the visual cortex. During dark, rhodopsin is resynthesized from opsin and retinine to restore the dark vision. Okay, this is known as what? Dark adaptation. This is known as what? Dark adaptation. Okay, now it is basically considered that there are three different kinds of cone cells. Okay, each of which contains a different light sensitive pigment. We have already discussed about the pigments of cone cells. Okay, three different types of cone cells. The first is the cone cells erythrolabel, which is the most sensitive to red light. Sensitive to red light. Chlorolabel, sensitive to green light. Okay, and cyanolabel, sensitive to blue light. Okay, combination of these three colors of light produces all the colors of human can see. That these are the primary colors. Primary colors. Okay, It was given under trichromacy theory that these three colors basically help in making of different colors. Okay, humans have binocular vision. So we humans we have binocular vision. The diurine animals they have photopic vision as they are able to see during daylight. Okay, humans they have binocular vision. I mean we can see both in daylight as well as in the dark. The dark vision is not so proper. Okay, so we discuss about the accommodation, power of accommodation. We discuss about the different types of cone cells. Now we are going to discuss about the binocular vision. Okay, humans binocular vision, in which both the eyes are focused on the same object. Are focused on same object. Okay, like binoculars we use now. So it is a XY vision means a two-dimensional vision, also known as stereoscopic vision. Okay, but from slightly different angles. The visual fields of both the eyes overlap. Okay, visual fields of both eyes overlap, and the fovea of both are focused on the same object. Same object. This provides depth to the image, that is stereoscopic or 3D effect, and enables men to judge distance correctly. Okay. While vision in other animals, when we talk about that primates and predator animals such as owl, cat, they have binocular vision. Okay. Binocular vision. Okay. Rabbit, birds, they have monocular vision, meaning they both the eyes they can focus on different objects. Okay. Then this type of vision is binocular vision. Okay. Now monocular vision and binocular vision. Now the color vision. The ability of animals to detect colors in the object like humans, apes, monkeys, most fishes, amphibians, reptiles, and birds They have strong color vision. The insects and crayfish also have color vision. Okay, so insects, crayfish, humans, apes, monkeys, and most fishes. Okay, amphibians, reptiles, and birds. They all have strong color vision. Okay, especially in the vertebrates, the color vision results from activity of cone cells. Most domestic and nocturnal mammals and sharks lack color vision. Domestic mammals lacks color vision. Okay, known as monochrome, which is a shade of gray. Monochrome vision. Okay, then comes the nocturnal and diurnal vision. Birds have only day vision as their retina contains only mainly cones. Owls they have better night vision as they have large number of rod cells and few cones. Okay. Now we are going to compare the parts of camera and eye. Okay. The box of the camera, it basically box of the camera, it basically is, or it can be compared with the sclera. I'll write here. The box part of camera can be compared to sclera. Okay. Then the black inner paint is sporoid. Then the shutter is basically eyelids. Okay. Diaphragm, iris. Then there is a light hole, pupil, lens, lens both in eye and camera. In camera, there is a light sensitive plate or film. We have retina. The image is small and inverted in both the cases. Both they have form image The image formed is basically in both the cases small and inverted. Okay. Now, there is a term ora serrata. Okay. Ora serrata is basically a region which differentiates, I should say, which differentiate the portions which are basically involved in image making and the portions which are not involved in the image making. Okay. So ora serrata, it basically differentiates two regions. Okay. One which are the image making parts and one which are not the image making parts. Okay. Which differentiate the two parts. One, the light sensitive and light insensitive. So ora serrata basically differentiates or demarcates the light sensitive parts of the eye from non-light sensitive or light insensitive part. Okay. Now, the visual pathway, already it is clear, but starting from rod cells and cone cells, it goes to bipolar cells, then to ganglion cells, okay, then to thalamus, optic nerve endings are here, okay, in between the ganglionic cells and the thalamus. From thalamus, it is carried to visual cortex, which is in the occipital lobe. Okay, then it reaches to the visual association area. So this is the visual pathway. Okay, now when the light or when the eye, when we can say the lens of the eye, it focus towards the far object or at the condition of rest. At the condition of rest, the eye is focused towards the far object. This part you have already, I think you already learnt in physics, class 10th physics. Okay. So at rest, the eye is focused towards the far object, ciliary muscles are relaxed, are relaxed. Suspensory ligaments are stretched. Suspensory ligaments are stretched. Okay. The curvature of lens, the radius of curvature of lens is more. Okay. The focal length is also more because R is equal to 2f. If radius of curvature is more, then focal length will automatically be more. Power is inversely proportional to focal length. Power is less. Okay. The near point for the eye is 25 centimeter. You should remember. For a normal human eye is 25 centimeter. Okay. When the eye focus on the nearby object, the ciliary muscles contract. Okay. Suspensory ligaments, they get relaxed. The convexity of lens increases. Okay. The focal length decreases. Focal length decreases. Power increases. Okay. So this is the the ciliary muscles contraction, the power of accommodation, especially on the nearby object and the lateral by object. Okay. Now there is a very important term. Okay, and in the previous years you could find questions from these. Okay, the disorders of the eye. Okay, and most importantly the lacrimal apparatus. So the disorders of the eye and lacrimal apparatus we will be covering in the next turn. Till then, bye bye. Take care. Stay safe. Stay healthy.